Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden and welcome to my January front garden tour. You all have not seen a ton of my front garden this month because we've been very much focused on a back garden renovation that is still technically going on. The contractors just aren't here the end of this week because they're letting the concrete that they poured on Tuesday cure. So it's a little bit of a quiet before they come back next week. And I thought I better get out here and I better film a front garden tour so that it doesn't get kind of lost in the fray with all the construction that's going on. So the front garden is actually looking really good. This is the third January that we've been here, and I have to say it's looking better and better and better every year. I'm getting a lot of winter interest, as you can see. I already have great winter interest with my orange trees, and here in California we have a lot of plants that you don't really think of as evergreen, but they are evergreen. So I don't have to rely on things like thuyas and conifers as much, but I have been adding some of that into my garden for the winter, and it's looking really, really good. So let me show you. So I might be a little distracted. I have Monty here with me, and the concrete in the back is curing, and the number one thing we're not allowed to do is not allowed to let dogs walk on the concrete. So he has been struggling so bad, just whining inside. So I finally started letting him outside. I've thrown the ball a bunch for him, but I'm letting him just kind of sniff around, which is what I think he needs to do. So I'm going to be paying attention to him while I go over this, but if I suddenly stop, that's why. So anyway, let me get started up here. This front area is probably one of my favorite areas of the garden. Of course, I have my star jasmine espalier, and star jasmine is an evergreen for us here in zone 9B. It's like you would consider it a semi-evergreen. If it gets too cold, it starts losing some of its leaves, but it's just so beautiful and it gives so much drama for winter, really for all season long. It's just so beautiful. And this is the diamond pattern of the espalier was the jumping off point for like the diamond pattern of my patio right here and the diamond pattern of the new concrete in the back. And really, like, it's this espalier really jumped or started everything in this garden, and I just love it so much. And underneath there you can see that I have Platinum Beauty Lamandra, and there's I never really knew much about Lamandra. I didn't pay very much attention to it, but now that I am, there's a lot of different varieties that I'm excited to try out this year of Lamandra. And one of the reasons why I like it is it's an evergreen grass as opposed to like a panicum or a rubrum or, you know, like a purple fountain grass that you need to cut back this time of year. This you don't have to cut back. You can to kind of get it neat and clean it up and everything like that, but you don't have to cut it back. So it's just a fabulous, fabulous plant that I'm absolutely loving. And this looks pretty much the same as it does during the summer, which I just think is fantastic. So coming over here to the little berm, I have to say that my pink cashmere Superbena, look at how good this is looking. I mean, it's looking absolutely beautiful. It's looking better than the junipers are looking right now. I'm getting a little bit of flowers over here, but honestly, just thinking about winter interest here in January, it's just looking beautiful. And then one of the best winter interests, I am so impressed with this. This is Blushing Princess Sweet Alyssum from Proven Winners. And you guys, this plant is just fantastic. It just blooms. The only time it doesn't bloom really well is during the hot parts of the summer. It starts to struggle a little bit and it needs a lot of water. Mine would look better if I didn't have a dog that stepped all over it. Monty, come on. Jeez. It's like right on cue. Right on cue. He can't help himself. Buddy, come on. I'm feeling really guilty for him right now. I'm feeling really bad for him having to stay inside so much and not being able to run around and play. And I think he's milking it. I think he knows I feel bad for him. He's just doing what he wants. So anyway, the Sweet Alyssum is really, really beautiful. And imagine if you didn't have a dog that walked all over it. Really, really gorgeous. And I was thinking that next year, if you all see my zigzag planter, I didn't do any winter planting for my zigzag planter, or cool season annual planting. And I was going back and forth, and I've decided not to do it this year just because we have so much going on in the backyard. I feel like it wouldn't get the attention that it deserves. So pretty soon I'm going to cut back the totem pole grasses because I want them to come back next year. But I'm thinking next year for cool season, I'm definitely going to focus on that. Gosh, you know what? Now that I'm thinking that, maybe that's not going to happen because there's a chance we're going to pull this next year. TBD. But if you guys are looking for a really great cool season annual, or not even annual, to perennial for us, the Sweet Alyssum is just absolutely gorgeous. And there's a huge difference between the little 6-pack ones that you get at the store and the Proven Winners one. It really is better. So the reason why we're even talking about taking out the zigzag planter is it's falling apart. It's just cinder blocks. This was here when we moved in, so it's just cinder blocks, and there's chunks of it that are like coming apart, and there's cracks everywhere. So I think it's just coming to the end of its life. I think I also put a lot of pressure on it with the amount of plants I put in and digging around I do in there. So it might just be time to do something new, different, a little bit more structurally sound, but we're not even going to worry about it till next year because this year we're focusing on the backyard. But one thing I do have to say is I absolutely love that we took down the pergola in the backyard. It looks so good. And so my thought is, I can't wait to take down the pergola in the front yard. So that's definitely happening. And, you know, I'm sure we'll make plans, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. So anyway, I didn't do any cool season planting in the zigzag planter this year. We'll see what happens next year. I do have some daffodils and stuff that are coming up. I took most of them and transplanted them to the front, in front of my fence by the street. Not a lot of them came back. I don't know. They didn't take to the transplant very well is what I think happened. So anyway, coming over here to my orchard garden. The orchard garden is looking really, really good. It's looking beautiful. We are kind of in that weird time period. It's late January, when it's okay to cut back some things, but it's a little too early to cut back other things. Like for instance, my Miss Molly butterfly bush. I want to wait till probably February to cut back the butterfly bushes. You can see I've already cut back my iceberg roses right here, and I have a lot more roses that I need to cut back. Those are ready to be cut back. I cut back right here. These are plain the blue salvia. These act as perennials for me here in zone 9B. So I did cut those back to about 6 inches, and they'll flush back absolutely no problem. But it's like I kind of have a list of things that I can cut back now, and that I need to wait a little bit longer and wait, let the really cold period kind of move on. Like the Nyphophia, I need to wait a little bit for the Nyphophia. I need to wait for my lantana. I'm going to wait to cut back these guys over here. These are Surefire rose begonias. These are temperennials as well. Like technically they're sold as annuals, but they overwinter for me. But I do have to protect them, and one of the ways to protect them is to leave all this old stuff on, which protects them from the cold. And then once the crazy cold goes away, and when I say crazy cold, I'm talking about 30s, right? That's how we are. When the really cold areas go away, then I can cut them back and not really worry about it. Some things I'm a little late, like I should cut back the Salvia leucantha right now. I just haven't gotten around to it. So the orange trees are looking fantastic. We are already eating oranges. The girls are making fresh squeezed orange juice. It's the best time of year for that type of stuff. It's so good. Very, very good. My flowers are looking good here. This is Superbena raspberry. This is one of my favorite Superbenas because I just love this deep saturated color. I just think it's so beautiful, and I love that it blooms, maybe not a ton this time of year, but it still gets a little bit of blooms. So I just love the color of this plant. When you find the color that you absolutely love in the garden, I mean, go for it. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So there's an airport by us, and sometimes they run the engines, and they just run them and run them and run them. They must be like checking the motor or something. I don't even know. So if you guys can hear that, that's what it is. It's the motor of the engines. They have these old like military style airplanes that they do this to, and I swear the engines are like extra loud. It's like, and of course they do it when I film a garden tour, of course. My Rise Up Emberaze rose is looking absolutely fantastic. This is what I would consider a small climbing rose. It's from Proven Winners. It's got a really beautiful color to it, and it just it just blew up this past year. It's absolutely beautiful. And I have this Tutor, this metal Tutor right here, and I just don't think it's big enough. I think I need to switch it out. So this is on my list of one of my roses that I need to prune. I'm going to prune it the way Linda Knowles taught me. And then she also taught me that when there is like a Tutor, you kind of wrap the canes around the Tutor. So that's what I'm going to do with this, but I got to get myself a bigger frame basically to put this rose on, because it really just took off. I mean, look at these amazing canes. And one of the things that Linda, she's a master rosarian, she taught me that if you see a cane that has beautiful, beautiful foliage and it just looks so robust this time of year, this is a cane that you want to save for next year, because it's really going to perform very well. So I have quite a number of these. Look over there. Monty, come here. Come on, stay here. You can see I have yet to address my orange tree. I was talking to an arborist, and they think that possibly I might need to just cut this branch off. Basically, it just got too heavy. So I think this tree is going to look a little lopsided for a while, but I think that that's okay. I think it'll fill in really, really quickly, because these trees grow so fast. They are so robust and so happy. And you could see all the oranges up in there. And then you can see this limb. This limb just got too heavy, you know, so I think I'm just gonna have them come and cut it. Fig tree is looking really good. It's lost all its leaves. It should come out of dormancy pretty soon, probably in February or something like that. It'll start getting little buds on it. And then over here, I haven't really done much over here. We do have this berm right here that I'm going to be planting a new lime tree in. And I was mistaken. I thought that lime trees come bare root and that lime trees are better if you plant them bare root. But I was talking to Fanula, who owns Cottage Gardens at Petaluma, and she says no, because she says lime trees are susceptible to frost. And so you kind of want to wait for a little while. You kind of want to wait until the chance of frost has gone away before you plant a lime tree. And so that usually means that it's not going to be bare root. It's going to be in a plant. So anyway, I will be buying a lime tree and planting that there, but probably not until February. You can see over here, I've cut back my Niagara Falls panicum. I love this grass. You guys know how much I love this grass. And I think even when it's cut back, it kind of looks good. It looks nice and neat and all that kind of stuff. It's just such a fantastic grass that I love. And this time of year is the time that you do want to cut it back. Here's my pile of green waste that I'm not sure what to do. This is how much green waste I go through in my garden. I have to find a better technique for dealing with green waste. I created a berm back by, well, I guess you call it a hugel mound, back by my greenhouse. And during fall cleanup, I completely filled the berm and covered it with mulch. Now I'm letting it kind of sink down a little bit before I put more green waste on top of it. But I just have to find a massive composting system. I have a 3-bin composting system. That doesn't go fast enough. I don't want to burn anything. I just don't know what to do with all of my green waste. I do have goats next door, and a lot of you have said that it might be a good idea to see if they can eat some of it, but I don't know, because I don't if a goat gets sick because I fed them something that they shouldn't eat, that's a lot of pressure on me. I don't want to worry about that. So anyway, I need to figure out something with my green waste. I'm not totally sure what I'm even going to do with this. Okay, I had to put him on a leash. You are a pain. You know that? I was way too distracted. I'm trying to talk about plants and then checking to see where he's going. So sorry about the video. If I seem more distracted, I'll be better now. Okay, so here in the center island, everything's looking really good. I did want to talk about the El Nino Catalpas over here. So I have 3 of them. I have one here, I have one over there, and I have one over there. And you guys can see that they haven't lost all their leaves. They've lost most of their leaves. They are deciduous, but sometimes they don't lose all their leaves, and that's okay. That's nothing to worry about. The reason why I'm saying this is a couple of you have messaged me asking me to talk about what to do with El Nino Catalpa this time of year. So what you want to do is just leave the leaves. It's going to stress them out if you defoliate them. It's not like roses where you need to force dormancy. They are totally fine. They do bloom on new wood. So late winter, early spring, you can cut them back. You can prune them back. for size control and stuff like that if you want, if you need to, but don't feel like you need to. I think I've decided this year I'm not going to prune them back. Last year I did prune that guy back, and I pruned him really hard, and it actually looked pretty good. This one, I think I'll probably come, if you can see, like, here's this random branch going that way. I'll probably prune that branch off and probably prune like a couple of the branches off, but not intense pruning at all. And then I am not going to defoliate them because they don't need it. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I know a lot of people were asking me. Another thing that people were asking me is how to prune lantana. So here in zone 9, lantana is perennial for us, and it's a pretty like it can get pretty intense. It can become like a shrub, basically, as you can see my lantana right here. The one thing that you want to think of with lantana is it's very susceptible to cold. It's a perennial, but it is a very tender perennial for us. So this is one of the plants that you don't want to prune back until you're sure that all risk of frost has passed. So I'm not going to touch my lantana, even though I want to. I'm not going to touch my lantana until February, just to make sure that it has all this extra foliage right here protecting the crowns and protecting the plant. And then I'll come in and I'll cut it back probably, I don't know, like 12 inches, 6 inches, something like that. And it'll flush back once it gets hot, and it'll be super happy. Another plant that I wanted to talk about that a lot of you have asked me for updates for is my yardline viburnum. You can see all along back behind the willow tree is where I planted the yardline viburnums. They're going to get 12 feet tall and 4 feet wide. And I didn't get very big specimens because I had to order them in the mail and they had to ship them to me. And so mine weren't very big. So they're going to take a long time to grow. So like I need to be patient, and that's why I'm not totally updating you guys all the time on these, because they're going to need a couple years to grow and get big and to give me basically the look I want. But they're looking pretty good right now. I lost 2 of them down there because of watering issues, like nothing like that. I did cut back my Meadow poppies right here. I can see there's one branch that I need to cut back right there. But you can see the ones behind the Meadow poppies, even those are looking good. And the Meadow poppies get really, really big and almost like smother the yard lines, but they are handling it like no problem. Oh, there it is. We've been looking for this. So one area that I have addressed in January is this area over here. This year I am planning to kind of revamp the long border. I'm planning to add a lot more structure into it and really plan out what I want it to look like, as opposed to just throwing plants in here and hoping that it looks good, which is what I've done thus far. But you can see here that we transplanted these boxwoods. These boxwoods were gifted to me from Roberta Walker. She's a landscape designer, and she's doing a project, and they took out a bunch of plants, and these boxwoods were in this other garden, and they're looking, like, knock on wood, they're looking pretty good right now. Like, they're taking to the transplant pretty well. And I've talked to my friend Raphael, and he's doing a huge project where he's transplanting a whole bunch of boxwoods, and he says that they take to transplanting pretty well. So everybody cross your fingers for these boxwoods, because aren't they stunning? Aren't they just so beautiful here? And this is what I'm talking about with some of the extra winter interest that I have this year. It's just beautiful. And then behind there, I have the 3 thuyas. Those are the thuyas that were in the pots in front of my metal workshop. Transplanted those, looking really, really great. And I'm going to add more stuff to this area as well. But so far, it's looking just absolutely beautiful. The other areas, you guys, this is Supertunia Vista bubblegum. This is bubblegum in January. Isn't that crazy? I think it's going to last. I think it's going to overwinter for me. I have a couple sad blooms, but I don't even care, because if the foliage looks this good, that means once it starts to warm up a little bit, I'm going to have massive, massive, beautiful Supertunia Vista bubblegum. This year, I am trialing leaving a lot of my annuals in the ground, because I want to see like what's going to overwinter, what's going to last. Overwintering annuals is kind of, You know, it's kind of iffy because it depends on how cold the winter is. Our winter has been super, super, super mild. I think the coldest we've gotten to was like 32 or something like that, 32 Fahrenheit. So it's been really, really great. But then the other thing you have to think about when you overwinter annuals is sometimes annuals just run out of energy. Sometimes they're just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And they kind of give up. So you know, it's always iffy when you overwinter annuals. Basically, I don't think you should depend on them. But if they overwinter nicely like this, great bonus. I have my Angelonia here, and I have to say, I think it's dead. I don't know. I don't want to touch it. I'm treating the Angelonia kind of the way that I'm treating the lantana, and that I'm leaving it and seeing that if like, I don't know, maybe it'll come back. I kind of doubt it, very, very much so, just based on how yucky this looks and how there's not one spot of green. But I've had enough people message me and tell me that it comes back every year that I'm just trialing it, and I just want to see what happens. And then this beast of a tree, this is my Monterey cypress. It's not Wilma. It's not the Wilma variety. It's something else, and I cannot remember what it is right now. But I planted this, and I swear it's tripled in size. This tree has grown so fast, almost too fast. I think personally almost too fast. Because if you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 stakes here trying to hold this thing up and trying to make sure that it doesn't fall over, because it keeps getting unrooted. So it's almost like it's going so fast that the root system isn't keeping up. And to me, it just feels like a very, very unstable tree. So anyway, I love it. I think it's great. I would never plant a tree like this near something that I cared about, like if it fell over in a storm or something like that, because I think that if we were to have a really, really bad storm, this would be the first tree that would fall over. And I'm hoping that it gets better. I'm hoping that it like roots in eventually. But we just added this stake over here just, you know, a week or two ago because it was completely leaning over. So that's kind of the trade-off, is like, it's fun to have, you know, trees that grow really, really quickly. But the problem with that is then they're not stable and sometimes they can fall over. So it's just something to think about. Compare that to my Wichita blue juniper that's maybe grown 6 inches, right? Maybe grown 6 inches. But I do have to say, I planted one of these in front of my last house. When I started my YouTube channel, I planted one kind of right by the front door, and I've driven by every once in a while, and that one is big. It's taller than the roof now. So I think once these guys, like once it hits their leap year, I think they start growing fast. But you can see this one has not grown fast. And this was about the same size as the lemon one over there. And the lemon one is double the height. Like, it's just crazy. Very crazy. Over here, you can see my Alstroemeria. Such a fabulous plant. I love this plant. I am planting more of these. They have different colors and things like that. So I'm going to be planting more because I'm just so happy. So happy with how they look. I think they're beautiful. And my azalea is blooming, which is crazy. I didn't think this azalea would ever bloom because we have pretty alkaline soil and alkaline water, and azaleas obviously don't like that. So I was kind of planning to just take these out, but I mean, they're showing off now. They're, you know, the Alstroemeria is kind of blocking them, but that's okay. I mean, I'll let you go if that's what you want. Then, speaking of winter interest, look at this Vermillionaire Kufia. Look at how amazing this is. Oh, I just absolutely love this plant. And so I'm in zone 9B, and here I know this plant blooms like 12 months out of the year. Like, it's really a fantastic plant. If you're looking for, you know, winter interest and like blooms, beautiful, hummingbirds love it. It's such a good plant. I wish they had more colors than just this color. But I did want to know, those of you who live in zones 7 and 8, does your Kufia bloom all season long or not? Love to know that, just so that when I recommend this to people, I can say, you know, in zone 9 it blooms all year, or if maybe zone 8 does. So please let me know. Then coming over here to the center island. The center island's looking great. Look at my meadow. Look at how good this looks. Oh my goodness. Looks beautiful. I've planted a whole bunch of tulips. I'm hoping that they come up. I'm starting to see little tulip buds or leaves starting to pop through, so that'll be really exciting once I start seeing some of that color. There's a lot of plants that I need to cut back. My lion's tail over there, I definitely need to cut back, and then of course the lantana and all that kind of stuff. There's just a lot of cleanup that needs to happen, but I'm not worrying about it too much. So I think a really interesting thing to think about, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I've been gardening like obsessively gardening, like seriously gardening for like 6 or 7 years now, I would say. And I feel like every year I learn more and more about gardening, but I think that the things that I'm learning lately is that gardening can be very, very specific. And what I mean about that is there's all these recommendations for gardening, like how to do a certain thing, when to cut back, what to grow, how to fertilize, how to do your soil. You know, there's all these specific recommendations, but I think the most important thing is you need to figure out what works for you in your own specific garden, because all of our gardens are different and all of us garden differently. And I think once you really figure out and get into your own groove and understand your garden and can listen to what your garden's telling you, gardening becomes really, really fun. It becomes so much fun because you're kind of working with your garden as opposed to forcing it to do something that it doesn't want to do. So when I say, you know, like I didn't pull any of my annuals this year and I didn't do any of my cutback like I normally do. And now I'm realizing that that's what my garden wants. You know, I think it wants me to wait for cutback, and the birds and the pollinators and the hummingbirds want me to leave it all, because this has been absolutely the best winter here in my garden. And I've had the most flowers and I've had the most birds and pollinators and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, my point is, you know, listen to what I say and listen to what other YouTubers say and listen to what Monty Don says in magazines and stuff like that. But ultimately figure out what works for you in your own personal garden, because that's the answer, right? You have to see what works, and it's trial and it's error, and you're going to fail and you're going to succeed in some things. And that's what's so fun about gardening. So anyway, that is my January front garden tour. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.